guys, and welcome back to Mummy Cooks Homemade. Now, you wanted standalone recipes, so we're going to start with this ultimate chicken slab pie. Slab is an S-L-A-B. So, I'm going to put some olive oil in the pan. Those are the sides that I've got there. The potatoes and the tender stem. Here, I'll put the measurements down below in the recipe. I'll list what I can verbally. So it was 150 grams of bacon, and it was 750 grams of diced up chicken thigh. I'm not going to remember them all, which is why I say I'll put them in the description. And you're going to cook these until they're just about cooked. Bit of pepper. Don't add any salt into this, especially because of the bacon. Trust me, you'll regret it. I've done it before. So like I say, you're just going to cook this away now until it's nearly cooked through. This pan I've got is quite a large one, so I was able to do it all in this pan. And it's great because if anything does stick to the bottom, as soon as you add any form of liquid, it'll come up straight away. So I've got some small diced, you can see how small they are, that's why I stuck my finger in it. Small diced carrot, small diced onion, and then some quartered mushrooms. So that's a whole onion, 3 medium-sized carrots there. Change it to suit your own family. If you're going to need more, put in more. If you want more vegetables, put in more vegetables. I put in some frozen veg later on, just to bulk it out a bit. And there's about 450 grams of mushrooms, believe it or not, looking at that. And again, just cook these through. For the stock, please, please, please try and get the low to no sodium stock, especially when you use bacon in a recipe as well, because otherwise it's just going to be way, way, way too salty. I mean, I'm a fan of salt myself. I'm one of them that likes to put salt on after I've cooked my meal. But yeah, it'll be too salty, even for me. So if you're going to make this, I would advise cooking the mixture first thing, because you want it cold but when it goes into the pie shell. It helps keep the pastry at the bottom crisper when you do it that way. So a blob of butter. That's my technical term. Melt that down. It doesn't look at this point like you're going to have enough to fill a pie, but trust me, you really do. And it's called a slab pie. I'll get back to it. So that was some mustard, teaspoon. Please put this in. I cannot stand Marmite, and I put it in because it does make a difference to the flavour, but it doesn't taste like Marmite. Trust me, guys, trust me. Have a little faith. You want a teaspoon of that as well. So it's a slab pie because it's got pastry at the bottom. Then you fill in, and then pastry across the top. And when you cut it, it just looks like it's a level, flat piece of pie. You'll see with the tin I used, because it's the one I used for lemon bars. It's the one Steve got off Amazon. So I chucked in a couple of heaped dessert spoons of flour, plain flour, just to thicken this up so that when I add my stock in, you're going to get a nice sauce. You don't want an excessively runny sauce. When it cools, you want it to be clinging to all your meat and stuff, so that when you put that pastry lid on and you put it in the oven, then you're going to get your gravy inside when it heats up again. So cook that out for a couple of minutes. So that is 500 mils of low sodium chicken stock. In America, you can use the cartons of broth that you've got. We don't tend to use them too much over here. It's usually stock cubes we have, and I don't doubt that they're probably more salty than the broth that you have over there. So it looks quite watery now, but it doesn't stay that way. Trust the process, guys. I'm just keeping this going on a low to medium heat. Some of the flour will have caught on the bottom of the pan, so just bring that up like I'm doing there, and that's what's going to help to thicken it. Now, as you can see, look, it's thickened. What I'm adding all together is 100 mils of double cream. That's heavy cream in the US. And you can see there's peas and that in there now. I added half a cup of frozen mixed veg. I don't know if you have the equivalent in the US. It's a bag of small pieces of vegetables, not like broccoli and stuff like that, like peas and small chopped carrots and sweet corn. So I just put extra veg in that way. But you can see now how thick that is, and you really do need it this thick. Fresh parsley, about a quarter cup of fresh parsley. By all means use dried if you've not got the fresh. I've bought stocks in dried parsley, I'm not opposed to it. So here I'm putting in garlic chives. I'm putting them in here because the taste will stay fresher, because they're garlic chives. But if you use normal garlic, add it to the cooking process at the beginning. So I'm just going to cook it until them garlic chives defrost in there. I like these because they give it that extra little bit of colour as well. There's some like shredded green beans in there from the mixed veg as well. That's something I really can't stand. I don't like peas either, or sweet corn, but I can eat them in a pie, but I really don't like green beans. But Steve does, that's why I put them in. I don't think you can leave stuff out just because you're cooking and you decide you don't like it. I mean, if other people like it, no reason you can't pick it out. Just don't let on to your kids what you're doing. They copy what we do. So for this, I do make a short crust pastry. Yes, you heard right. I made it. Can you hear the excitement? And I made a kilo of savoury short crust. I made it in 2 500-gram batches. One for the base, one for the lid. And luckily it worked out about right. I'll measure the pan that I use so you know what size. Because that's not a thing over here either. We don't particularly measure our pans like you guys do. It's like a lot of recipes I've seen, it's been like, oh, 9x13 pan or whatever. We don't do that over here. We just chuck it in a pan and off we go. But I'll measure them, see what measurements they are. And I'll link the pans as well underneath the video. Or Steve will. Steve, while you're editing, link the pans under the video that we got from Amazon. Absolute bargain. 4-pack, but we got them for £10, but they're supposed to be 20. I would pay 20, knowing now how good they are. So I've turned that off, and that's going to cool. This is now the afternoon, and I'm making the pastry. 280 grams of plain flour, or all-purpose flour. 75 grams of butter. 75 grams of lard, or crisco, is it? I think it's crisco in the States, which would be your alternative. So half and half. It makes for a really short crumb. So that's our lard. So I'm assuming that's your crisco, I think. I'm just trying to make it a bit easier for any Americans. So 75 grams of each. I'm using drops of water here. I'm not using even a tablespoon. I'm using drops of water because this will come together really fast. See? I've literally put a couple of drops in and I forgot to turn the thing off. Luckily it wasn't a cake or something. So I just repeated this process again straight after. I collected this together in a bowl, popped it into the fridge and just did another batch. I've tried doing it all in one and it never turns out right. So it's just as easy just to do it in 2 batches. Leave it in the fridge for as long as you can. Roll it out. Never ever worry if it's not perfect. Look at mine, it's not perfect. But this will mould very easily, so you can push it in, take pieces, push it in, and it'll be absolutely fine. Mine never goes in properly. So I recommend you blind bake this, 20 minutes in the oven, gas mark 5. Take the beads and the paper out and put it in for another 5 to 10 minutes. So the base is out. See how that mixture is now. It's not running everywhere. It's sitting properly in the pie pan and it is a perfect fit. This was very good. So took the other piece, rolled it across the top, and then I'm just putting pure egg yolk on top, and this will give you the colour. Always put 2 vents in your pies. This is to allow the steam to escape so it doesn't steam your pastry and your pastry gets crispy. Just like that. And we had crushed roasted potatoes and tender stem with this. Chat to me down in the comments, guys, what you think of the pie, if you want more pies. And these pans, like I say, absolutely fantastic. Didn't even grease that pan. There you go. It was gorgeous, creamy, nice short pastry. So thank you to all the new subscribers. Thank you to the current members. Membership is always open. There is a link always in the description box below for anybody that would like to join. Let me know down in the comments what you thought, if you would like more savoury pies. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye.